All right, we are here in Den Haag on the Leijweg in a beautiful, beautiful restaurant. What's the name of your restaurant?
Chopra's Redfort Indian street food.
And who are you two beautiful people?
My name is Arun. I'm the owner of this restaurant. She's my wife.
My name is Lavina.
And how long are you guys having this restaurant?
We opened this restaurant in 2023, almost 2 years. We're running this restaurant.
Yeah. And what kind of food do you serve?
We are serving
A little bit of the history.
Yes.
Specialties.
Yeah, we are serving North Indian food, like special dishes from North India, butter chicken, chicken tikka masala. We are selling all authentic way food. How you can eat in India, you can get same food here as well. And we have a specialty with tandoori dishes, tandoori chicken, chicken sikh kebab, like all famous North Indian dishes we are selling here.
So we have street food, we
Yeah.
have chicken curries, we have lamb curries, we have Indian vegetarian curries. We also have a mix of some Chinese,
Indian Chinese, yes.
foods as
Really?
well.
Yes.
Yeah, we have like
From the
wraps.
borders.
Yeah, we have wraps,
Wow.
rolls, noodles, etc. So that's also there.
It's been like a Chinese food with Indian herbs.
Yeah,
Oh, that's,
that's
very,
very famous in
interesting.
India.
So, if the people want to come and eat, then you also need to have the cooks.
That's true.
And
That's true.
That's why we are here.
Yes.
There's a little problem concerning the cooks. Not the cooks are the problem,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of things have to do with the laws and what's going on. What is the current situation of your restaurant?
The current situation in the restaurant right now to extending visas of our chef cooks. Because UAV is saying we should train someone from EU 6 months and then he or she can cook Indian food. But they are not understanding how can, if someone have a 20 years Indian food experience, we can train 6 months to cook same Indian food. Because in Indian food, we have 500 kind of herbs and they're saying independent working. How can someone can work as an independent Indian chef cook? I'm Indian. I still don't know how to cook Indian food in my whole my life. I can cook, of course, but not up to the standard how they are cooking. So here we are struggling. How are we going to solve this problem?
And plus, I also feel that they are really
Yeah.
telling us to look for sauce chefs or like the cooks, but the people working inside the kitchen, they are really the chefs and very experienced chefs. They have like 15 to 20 years of experience, and they know which spices to mix with which ones, because it cannot go wrong. It really cannot go wrong because you're serving people, you're serving food here. People trust you for everything, so that really cannot go wrong. That somebody, a trainee comes and they mix something and they do something, and then voila, you have a dal makhani or a dish or a tandoori chicken. No, that's really difficult. And plus, as we were mentioning that in the tandoor the temperature is
1,000 degrees.
and not everybody is ready to put their hands into those clay oven and
You really need to have
bring out the
experience.
bread. So you really need to have that experience to not to burn yourself, not to hurt yourself, and then still have the right food that's coming out of the clay oven. So all of these things are pretty important, and the ingredients too. Which ones to be mixed with what, and it gives you what kind of quality, because we also customize the taste. We've got our guests, not only Indians, but like the Dutch and Britishers, the Americans, the Australians, the Surinamis, and Belgians, everybody. And every person has different tastes. They have their different preferences. And when we go inside, we have to tell them that this is this kind of a person. This one needs less spicy, medium spicy, more spicy, or this person is allergic to this nuts or some food or gluten or whatever. So we have to take care of everyone who's coming here, because we are gluten friendly. We serve vegan food, we serve vegetarian food. We
And
have
only
all
the
types of dishes.
experienced chefs can cook with the same standard of level of the taste and everything.
Yeah, because
And you
that
want to
cannot
keep
go wrong.
the authentic taste
Yes,
with
Indeed.
all this.
all these things.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also we work with fresh food. the moment we get the order here, they start cooking. We're not working with something that's already cooked, that was frozen, and then you're quick. You can just heat it up and give it. It's not like that. They're cooking fresh when the order comes. So that's also
Yeah.
not easy, and that time management that cannot be done. I cook at home, but I don't think I can cook as fast as they can.
Yeah, restaurant cooking is totally different than home
Right.
cooking.
True.
Right.
It's,
True.
so that is exactly why you need to have cooks from India and a cook from the cooking school here in the Netherlands would not be suitable directly into your kitchen. He would have to actually be trained for a very, very long time
Yes. Yes.
before he can manage to work in this kitchen.
Right.
And I think that is a little bit of the problem that we have because they're saying independent cook, but that's the cooks that are trained here in the Netherlands are mainly trained in westernized food,
Exactly.
mostly in the French kitchen.
French kitchen, yes, Italian
Totally
kitchen.
different.
They have almost all food, but they're using the frozen, ready-made food and cooking and easy and done within 10 to 15 minutes. But we are authentic. We are cooking official Indian way. How can someone? We make sauce ourselves. We're not buying from sauce outside. So, in European kitchen, they have almost 80% stuffs are ready. So in Asian kitchen, I think is we are using fresh ingredients. So we have to know which herbs, what time, how much heating. So even from someone from EU kitchen, he can cook, but he cannot be trained in 6 months. He needs
Okay, so you don't buy the packages from
No.
Albert Heijn
no,
to
No.
have some curry.
no.
To heat it up in a microwave.
Heat it up in microwave and no.
serve the food that cannot happen.
Then we are not authentic. So
So it's like you're telling a class 5 child
Yeah.
to substitute for a master's degree, a person who has a master's degree.
Within 6
and
months.
Our chefs have got proper degrees who are cooking here. They have learned the skills. They have those culinary skills and the food and how to cook food, how to adjust and adapt in that environment in the kitchen as well. That's very important because not everybody can survive the environment in the kitchen as well. So that's
it's-
also pretty important.
So, but you have cooks now.
we have right now cooks
So what is exactly the problem?
extending their visas.
So their visas are not going to be extended or might not be extended because
Yes.
of the current situation with all the Asian restaurants.
Yes.
So what would happen with your restaurant if the cook will not be extended?
We're going to be bankrupt. What? We have a lot of expenses. You see how our restaurant is. Cost
Yes,
goes.
beautiful.
The cost goes every day on. If we close one day, we have a big loss. So if we don't have cooks, I cannot cook, and I cannot hire someone from EU because he cannot cook the same standard. So we're going to be collapsed.
And even at the time of extending their visas, filing their visa applications, we were told to interview a lot of people.
Lot of people,
from here, and we did that because it's in our interest because we need people. And they said no. They said we cannot cook. So it was the candidates themselves coming here and saying that this is not possible. We cannot cook the way you're cooking. We cannot do it. Even if somebody was coming for an interview, they thought we have that frozen food like from Lidl, from Albertine, from Jumbo, and when we show them these are the ingredients, we need this dish, they say, "Oh no, we cannot cook." So it's a big problem right now.
So you try to get cooks from the EU, but they told you themselves that's
No.
not what we can.
No.
And
Yeah.
that's a problem because they thought it might be convenience food.
Right.
Like buy it from the Albert Heijn and just
Yeah.
heat it up.
Or the wholesale supermarket, you can buy the sauce or something, but we are not like that. So
Yeah.
we have everything fresh ingredients here.
And there's the problem because there's a chance that the cooks will not be extended their visa. So how will you manage, and what does it actually do with you as humans? How do you feel about it, like personally, and
We
how is
fe-
it with your business?
we're going to feel very hurt and we are destroyed totally because when we are open the restaurant, we are 2 years open, UAV come and saw, why not they say that time don't open the restaurant because after that going to be this problems, then we are aware of it. But now they're changing the rules, we understand, but how we going to do, they have to understand as well, how we going to survive.
Yeah.
And it's been quite stressful. We're really having stressful nights. You see, my hair has gone gray, all that because it's been really stressful. I'm helping him. I have my own work as well. I'm a tax consultant with one of the big four audit firms, but I had to help
Yeah.
him to file the visa applications
Right.
because we both have had really stressful nights, stressful days because we we don't know what's the alternative for us. So he has a hotel management degree. What is the option for him? So you've spent all your savings, everything that you saved up until now in building up a dream restaurant just to serve the authentic food to people out here, and then
Yeah.
you don't know
Going
what's
to be
the
our
next-
future.
yeah, you don't know the next chapter of your life. You don't know what's going to happen. All we are doing is praying to God that somehow at least our current chefs should stay, our business should sustain, or we should be able to bring in more people. Somebody should be able to cook in the kitchen, and then we can run the business. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
it will be a big problem to run the business, and that's currently very stressful for both of us.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, if they don't get an extension, then you probably will have to take some money from the government, like the social money. We have to wonder if the Dutch people would not say something like, just let the cook stay so he can do business, because I mean you're paying taxes,
Yes.
and it's a lot of money that you are paying, and also the people that are your suppliers.
Yeah.
Do you think it's good?
It's not going to
Because
affect only us, it's going to affect everybody, whole economy, like the suppliers. Yeah. If we are closed, who's going to buy the stuff from them? Like a wholesaler, suppliers. And the cooks, what will happen to them? Okay, they say they don't have a job, they have to go back to their country, they have to rebuild their life again. They don't have the jobs. It is going to affect everyone.
To us,
To us, it's like a whole chain system.
suppliers, to the
Customers,
because we buy a lot of vegetables from the farmers.
but we buy local vegetables as well.
The dairy farms, we buy milk, we buy
Cheese,
butter, we
yeah.
buy cheese. So all of that is going to be affected. Even for example, the Indian shops out here. So basically, our even if we are importing something or buying something, so I think that has a big impact. Not just shutting down our business,
Yeah.
it's gonna have an impact on everyone.
Everyone.
yeah,
And plus, I would say people won't be able to get good authentic food here. So that's gonna
And
make them homesick. So
that's the biggest loss.
Yeah.
That's the biggest
and
loss.
if for example, that was the reason we opened this restaurant, right? Because we were going out, we were not getting authentic food. And I feel homesick. I come here to work, right? Leaving my country, leaving everything behind. If I don't get the food that I
Yeah.
want or I'm used to eating for good 30, 40 years, then it's a big problem. So even I feel it can impact the people who are working in the big M&Es as well, because they can feel homesick. They will not get the food. And then, of course, you will have more vacations, more sick leaves, because they want to go back and eat their food or rejuvenate themselves with the good food.
Yeah.
And here, if people are coming here, we have a lot of expats coming here, a lot of students who are coming here. They feel very nice. They feel homely,
Home, yeah.
and they can order food anytime. And they if you read our reviews, it's people say we are very friendly. They felt nice. So it's also the services, the food that we give here, the love, and the cultural exchanges that's happening here. That's a lot more than just a business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
here.
It's not a food stall.
It's not only food stall, no. It's more than food.
Maybe you have a message, maybe for the government, in the way that you can contribute. Like, what could they do differently so the restaurants can be safe, right? Because maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't see this whole entire story about how it is affecting your personal life and all these other things. They maybe didn't think about it. So what could we do in the Netherlands to just save these Asian restaurants from going under?
We would request with
Yeah,
folded,
exactly.
folded,
Folded
hands,
hands.
that please understand our situation. We do understand the government that you might not want The restaurants who are not following the rules and regulations, totally with you, totally with the government.
Yeah.
But for the restaurants who are following rules and regulations, who are paying their taxes, where everything is all okay, please do support us in doing the business. We would pay the right amount of taxes, contribute to the economy, and we would keep serving you good food. And yeah, that's our request. Please understand our
Right.
situation, and if we do everything in the right manner, as government says,
Yeah.
please do not stop us from doing the business.
Doing the business, right?
Yeah. And currently, they also said that, yeah, the cooks can be trained between 4 and 6 months. Um, I think it's very, very difficult what I heard from our conversation about the whole typical food, and you also explained it earlier in the video. That's the question. Is there a school here in Europe somewhere where you can learn the Indian cuisine? Because they're talking about Asian cuisine, but I know that Chinese food and from the south and north is very, very different. And since I'm a southern Chinese, I also had some Indian food, and that's totally different. It's from a different world. So, how is there a school for Asian food,
No.
all general, or maybe
There-
Indian food in particular?
So far, I know there is no school who's teaching Indian cuisines.
Or even Asian cuisine.
Asian cuisine,
Even if
yeah.
you talk about Asian cuisines, we have like, I don't know how many, more than 1,000 cuisines, because Asia is big. They
Yeah.
have different countries, and different parts of that one particular country have different types of food.
Yeah.
If you take even just India, north, south, east, west, very different food. We specialize in the
North Indian food.
Other restaurants might be specializing in the South Indian. So there are no schools who are teaching all of these differences, and that too is not possible to do that in like 6 months. And I don't think there are any degree chefs here with the Asian or Indian cuisines.
And it's also about the techniques that the cooks are
Right.
using, right? It seems to be quite different than from Chinese. We like to wok a lot, and
Yeah.
dim sum is a lot of steaming and frying. So how is it different from other kitchens, like maybe a Dutch kitchen or something?
I mean, I can understand they're saying to teach someone in 6 months because they're thinking about a Dutch kitchen. Because Dutch kitchen, people can learn in 6 months and become a Dutch food cook. But the Asian kitchen, you really need an experience. You should have experience. I mean, the guys are cooking here 20 years, whole their life for Indian food, and if you say someone to come, train 6 months and cook same standard of level that food, my business is going to be crash because people are used to the same taste.
And it's not just boiling the food.
Yeah.
We call it tarka. We keep frying the onions for good 20 minutes. We have to put cumins, the butter, the salt, the pepper,
Right amount.
turmeric, and in the right amount and at the right time. Suppose if I put turmeric before and not
Yeah.
after in a particular tarka, that tarka is like the preliminary prep of the food, and we are not done with the whole cuisine right now. That's just the step one. It can go wrong.
Yeah.
It can taste totally wrong, and it can burn your food as well. So that those differences, or those kind of things, are very different from, say, boiling a food or making a wrap or cutting or serving a salad, because then you have to just cut the vegetables, and plus even cutting our vegetables in different manners,
The different manners, yes.
and with that right amount of time, it's not easy. And then you have to wash them, and if you wash them, you can't soak them, for example, sometimes for just 10 minutes. We soak it for an hour. The other one, we soak it for 2 hours. There are dishes which we have to soak overnight. So how do you know, like, from those 500 types of lentils, that which one to do, how, when, what time? So all of those things are not very easy
Yeah.
to learn in 3 to 6 months. That's insane. And even the good chefs or the cooks who came, who want to give it a try, they just give up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so also somebody, a Chinese cook would also have have a lot of difficulties in an Indian kitchen.
Right, exactly.
I think Indian people also have difficulties in a
Chinese
kitchen.
kitchen,
So
yes.
Asian, we cannot say Asian food over one
No,
brush, right?
no, no.
So
You
no.
can't generalize whole
Yeah.
Asia into one bucket and say
kind of weird.
Yeah, yeah.
one
It is. It is.
a person from West can just cook it all. That's
Yeah, and the techniques
Not
that you're
possible.
using are also totally
And the names,
different
how
from
they
each
cannot
other.
pronounce the name, how they can remember the names as well, because every dish have different name and the herbs have different name. They have to know the name of the herbs. Okay, if he can work independently, how can he order the herbs? How he knows the names? It's like a 500 type of herbs.
Yes, because Indians use a lot of herbs.
Yes.
A lot.
Right.
That's a really, really insane amount.
Yeah.
I didn't even know how many herbs.
Yes.
that's
they
how we
have.
give you flavors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's where people are. That's what people are coming here for.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody is coming to an Indian kitchen, they're coming for flavor.
Flavors.
And if you don't give them that, they wouldn't like
They
it.
didn't like.
Yeah. And I think that's a huge difference between Western cooking. It's also the amount of herbs that are being used, because you need to, yeah.
Western cooking
understand
is
that.
they're using almost ready-made sauce,
Yeah.
mixing, giving, done.
Well, at school you also learn to
Yeah.
make real sauces from the ground.
Yes.
But yeah, in a lot of restaurants, they are just very convenient, unfortunately, these days. But you are cooking from the ground.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a totally different story. And that is why you need to have these cooks, or at least let the cooks stay,
Right.
so you can maintain your business and do not have to go and ask the government for assistance.
No.
Right? That's all you want, right? You
Right.
want to keep your business and afloat and have her fill in your tax form, because she just said that she's good at taxes.
Yeah. And then I believe that everybody should pay the right amount of taxes. And that's when I talk from the government side as well. That's because whenever I'm representing any M&E with a tax officer, that's what we need to make sure that they are paying the right amount of taxes to the government, because that's also very important.
Yeah. All right. So is there anything last thing that you guys want to say? Tell the world?
We-
Okay, you go ahead.
I just want to say, we just want to say, just keep us doing our business in the right way. How we want to do it. Let us grow. Give us chance to grow more and give people good food and have a good experience with Chopras. That's what we want. We don't want any kind of troubles with government, with nobody. We just want to do our business. That's it. You want to say something?
Yeah, I would say please support us.
Yeah.
Don't do that to the small businesses, because we don't want to be a burden on the government either, and we want to share our cultural experiences, and that's what is very important. That's finding the whole country together. So please
We want to be
support us. Yes.
supporting part and pillar of society,
Yes.
instead of being a drag of society.
Yes.
True.
And to be able to do that, you need to have your cooks.
Right.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
Oh,
and
I
they are
want to
part
thank
and
you.
parcel of our business. It cannot, we cannot run it without them.
Without that.
Well, thank you for this conversation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
welcome.
covering us.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Right?